What's going on, everyone? It's Alex here from Something Smoking, and today we're smoking up some jalapeno poppers. So jalapeno poppers are one of those things where if you don't like spice, you probably didn't click this video. But I'm going to show you an incredible way that you can actually control the spice level of these jalapeno poppers. You can make them extremely spicy, all the way down to barely noticeable at all. I'm not a huge fan of spice myself, so I'm probably going to make these a little bit on the milder side, but you guys do whatever you want. I have 4 jalapeno peppers here, which is going to make 8 jalapeno poppers. It's only going to be me eating them today, so I didn't want to make too many, but you can make as many as you want. So the way you make these guys, obviously wash these up really good, and then you're just going to make a lengthwise cut down the middle there. I like to keep a little bit of the stem on. I think it looks a lot cooler and it gives people something to hold on to. So it's actually the seeds in this white cartilage kind of stuff that is actually going to give you the heat. So take a spoon and I just go in and you can kind of run the spoon along the bottom and the top, and you can just get that right out of there. So I will say this, if you don't like any spice at all, you're going to want to cut this piece off. If you just take that piece off, there's so much of that white meaty part in there that goes all the way up the stem. That's going to be hard to take out without cutting that off. So you do that. Then what you're going to do is just rinse off all the seeds in the sink and we'll be good. I'm going to do the rest of these and then we'll show you the next part. So there we go. I've removed all the spicy parts from these jalapenos. Some of them I have the stems on still. Some of them I've taken the stems off. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some cream cheese. For every 4 jalapenos, so 8 poppers, you're going to use 1/4 of the cream cheese, which is an 8-ounce container of cream cheese. You're going to use about the same amount of sharp cheddar cheese. Okay? So for 8 jalapenos, you're going to use half the container of cream cheese. For 16 jalapenos, you're going to use the entire container of cream cheese. Okay? So again, we're using 1/4 because we used 4 jalapenos. I got the same amount of cheddar cheese as I do cream cheese here. Okay, so I'm just going to scoop about 1/4 of the container into my sharp cheddar cheese. Okay, there we go. All right, done with that. As for seasonings, you can use kind of whatever you want. If you want to use a pre-made rub, an all-purpose rub is always really nice. I'm going to be using our all-purpose rub today. You can get it on our website and Amazon. Otherwise, any other all-purpose rub is good. You can also use a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, some salt, and some pepper. You're just going to shake in just a bit, maybe a tablespoon. And then you're just going to mix this all together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start filling these poppers up. So I'm just going to scoop some in, kind of level it off as best as you can. I mean, it certainly doesn't have to be perfect. Something like that is probably good. Now obviously my ratio cream cheese to jalapeno poppers really depends on the size of your jalapeno poppers too. You might have some left over. You might also need to make a little more or take some out of one you kind of were a little more generous with. So I'm going to finish these off and we'll come back in a minute. All right, there we go. So the ratio worked out perfect in this case. I hope it did for you too. Now we're going to wrap them up in bacon. So you can use, for the bigger ones anyway, a full piece of bacon is, I mean, in my opinion, perfect amount. You can cut it in half and use a half if you want, but I prefer to use the full piece. So all you're gonna do, no toothpicks required. You're just gonna tuck, just kind of overlap like that, all the way down. Perfect. Put it on your smoking rack and do it again with the next one. I mean, you can put it directly on the grill, but it's going to take you longer to take them off. And once they're ready, you're not going to have any time to waste. You're going to want to eat them so quickly. Let me tell you that for sure. This is where you might want to start tearing pieces in half, just because some of these poppers are a lot smaller. See, like half a piece of bacon was perfect on that small one. Anyway, let me do the rest of these and I'll be back with you to continue on. All right guys, so I got the smoker set to 200 degrees. We're smoking over hickory. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hit it with a little more of this all-purpose. Just like that. So we're gonna smoke for half an hour at 200 degrees over hickory. Then we'll come back, we're gonna crank the heat and finish them off. All right, so they've had half an hour at 200. We're gonna increase the temperature to 350, and we're gonna let it go for about another half hour until the bacon reaches the crispiness that you prefer. In about 15 minutes, that's when you'd wanna throw some barbecue sauce on if you were doing that. I'm not gonna do that today, but if you did wanna do that, 15 minutes from the time you increase the temperature is the time to do that. All right, we'll give it another half hour. So that there is where I'm taking mine off. As you can see, bacon is nicely crisped over, and they're ready to eat. Let's get these inside. Well, there we have it, our jalapeno poppers. I've let these cool for about 5 minutes so they don't burn my face off. So let's go in and have a bite. Oh, they're still pretty warm. Cheers. That's great. If you did want a bit of a spicier popper, you could chop up the seeds and that cartilage that we took out earlier and mix it back in with your cream cheese and your cheddar cheese. All right guys, temperature controlled jalapeno poppers. We'll see you for the next one. Take care.